One of the biggest struggles for investors is finding money to fund their deals. And one of the reasons that a lot of novice investors stall is because they're relying on bank financing to be able to purchase properties. If you're relying on bank financing in order to move your business forward, ultimately, you're going to hit a roadblock. If you know how to successfully use private capital, this will be hugely beneficial to your business. You may be wondering why you would use private financing. After all, you have access to major financial institutions where you would borrow money at a lower interest rate. This is a great question that often has a somewhat complex answer. Part of the answer is, it's not always easy to get approval from a major financial institution. Especially as you begin to build your portfolio, because your debt service ratios may be outside their lending criteria. Another reason you may need private money is you might want the funds for a very short period, like 3 to 6 months. Unfortunately, most financial institutions will not be interested in loaning money on that short of a term. The other wrinkle that's presented itself recently is that a lot of major financial institutions will not look at a refinance within the first year of owning that property. To be clear, if you're acquiring a property with the intent of buying, renovating, putting tenants in place and refinancing, unfortunately many of the major financial institutions will not look at that within the first year of you owning that property. Another major factor for using private lending is it's usually easier to get mainstream financing if you already own a property, versus seeking financing for a new deal. If I go to the bank and ask for a loan for a property deal, the conversation often goes like this: I think I'm going to be able to renovate the property for this amount. Then I think it's going to be worth this much. Then I think I'm going to be able to rent it out for this much money. Imagine flipping the script on the bank and going to them when you already own the property using private money. Since you used private financing, you've already completed the renovation and you know what that costs. You know what the value is worth based on a recent appraisal by somebody who's approved by the bank. You also know what your tenants are going to be paying you because they're already in the property and they're paying rent every single month. That's a very different conversation with the bank than the other way around. Before we get to that point, we need to be able to acquire the property, do the renovation, and put the tenants in place. That's why we need access to private financing. If you have 3 to 4 property flips under your belt and currently have a property under offer, we have investors ready to finance property deals today. Fisher & West are private money brokers for Lee Arnold's Capital Syndicate. If you need to get your deal moving, contact us today. Direct your email for funding to service@fisherandwest.com.